Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah Mitchell, and I'm 58 years old today. I'm here to share with you a story from my life, a remarkable, shocking, and beautiful story about remarriage and finding love again. I lost my husband 5 years ago in a sudden car accident. At the time, I was 53 years old, working as an ER nurse at a major hospital and raising my only daughter. My husband was a construction supervisor. He left for work that morning just like any other day, but he never came home. At the funeral, my daughter Emily, who was 26 at the time, held my hand and said to me, "Mom, don't worry. We'll be okay. We'll get through this together." From that day forward, I lived only as a mother and as a nurse. When I came home after my shifts at the hospital, I'd find an empty house waiting for me. I'd eat dinner alone, watch TV alone, and fall asleep alone. 3 years passed like that. Emily got a job at a pharmaceutical company, and soon she was planning her own wedding. One spring evening, a patient was brought into the emergency room. He was a man in his early 60s who had fallen while hiking and hurt his ankle badly. As I led him to the treatment room, he glanced at my name badge and suddenly looked shocked. "Excuse me, are you Sarah Mitchell?" "Yes, I am." "Do we know each other?" "Oh no, I think I made a mistake. I'm sorry." It was an awkward moment. Something about his expression seemed strange, like he was hiding something. But after that day, I started seeing him everywhere. At the cafe in front of the hospital, at the bus stop, at the grocery store where I shopped. "It seems like fate keeps bringing us together," he said gently, starting a conversation. His name was David Chen, 57 years old. He was a retired high school history teacher. He told me his wife had passed away from an accident 10 years ago, and he'd been living alone ever since. "I'm alone too. I lost my husband 5 years ago," I said, finally opening up about my own story. I saw something flicker in his eyes when I said that. We began having coffee together, taking walks, and slowly I found myself smiling again. It was like I was discovering myself as a woman again, not just as a mother or a nurse. 2 months later, I gathered the courage to tell Emily about David. "Emily, honey, there's someone I've been spending time with." Emily's face went rigid. "Mom, are you saying you want to get married again?" "I don't know yet, but he's a good man." "Absolutely not." "Mom, at your age, what if this man is just after your money? You got Dad's insurance settlement and his pension." There are so many stories like this on the news. I was speechless. I never expected my own daughter to speak to me like this. After days of worrying, I met with David. "Emily is against this. I think it's best if we stop seeing each other," I said quietly. David was silent for a long moment. Then, with a trembling voice, he said, "Sarah, I need to tell you something. I wasn't honest with you when we first met. I already knew who you were." "What do you mean?" 5 years ago, when your husband had the car accident, I was there. My mind went blank. I was driving on that road. I saw the accident happen, and I called 911. I stayed with your husband until the ambulance arrived. In those final moments, he held my hand and said to me, "Please, take care of my wife. Don't let her be alone. Please." Those were his last words to me. Tears streamed down my face. His words never left me. I couldn't stop thinking about them. So I found out where you worked and came to the hospital that day. I pretended to hurt my ankle so I could see you and make sure you were okay. At first, I just wanted to check on you, to keep a promise I made to your husband. But when I started spending time with you, my feelings changed. This isn't just about keeping a promise anymore, Sarah. I genuinely want to be with you. I didn't answer David's calls for days. betrayal, gratitude, confusion, every emotion tangled together. Did he approach me out of pity? Was this all just guilt? Did he ever truly care about me? I couldn't figure out his real intentions. A week later, Emily came to my house with a serious expression. "Mom, I looked into David Chen's background. I had to make sure he wasn't dangerous." She pulled up a news article on her tablet. "Look at this. It's from 10 years ago in the local newspaper. High school teacher David Chen donates full settlement from wife's accident to Children's Hospital." I stared at the screen in disbelief. And Mom, that's not all. This man has been anonymously donating $500 to us every month since Dad's accident. I contacted the hospital's charity department, and his name is listed as our donor for 5 years. That's over $30,000 total. Everything suddenly made sense. I went to see David right away. "Why didn't you tell me? You've been helping us all this time." David smiled sadly. "I didn't want to burden you. I just wanted to make sure you were doing okay from a distance. I promised your husband I would take care of you. But when I saw you again at the hospital and we spent time together, my heart changed. This isn't about keeping a promise or feeling guilty, Sarah. I genuinely, sincerely want to share my life with you. That's the truth." Finally, I understood. He didn't pity me. He genuinely wanted to be with me. When I got home, Emily was waiting for me. "Mom, I'm so sorry. I didn't trust you, and I hurt you instead. After looking into David more, I can see he's a truly good man. If you're happy, Mom, then I'm happy too. I support you with all my heart." We held each other's hands and cried together. 3 months later, we had a small wedding ceremony. Emily placed the bouquet in my hands and said, "Mom, be happy. I know Dad would be happy for you too." David held my hand and said, "The promise I made to your husband. I'll keep it now. I'll be by your side for the rest of our lives." Now we live together in a small apartment. David volunteers at the local library, and I still work at the hospital. In the evenings, we take walks holding hands. On weekends, we visit Emily and her husband. Sometimes David says to me, "Our love story began with sadness, but now I'm truly happy. Maybe this was fate." And I feel the same way. Today, as you've listened to my story, what are you thinking? I've learned something important. Life's plot twists don't only happen in movies, and true love doesn't recognize age. Sometimes, from our deepest pain, the most beautiful connections can bloom. If you're thinking about remarriage, or if you're afraid to pursue new love, don't be. You deserve a second chance at happiness. I'm living my second spring now, and I don't regret a single day. Thank you for listening.